The gearing of the bike is definitely for the city, okay? I say it in every vlog that I've made so far. 6th gear, cruising comfortably at 40 miles per hour. And RPM is around 2500, so very laid back. And again, this is Sunday morning, so it's not gonna be much traffic. It's gonna be a very enjoyable ride all the way to the beach. And today I'm just taking a very slight different route, going to the park that I usually go. Okay, 30-second red light. It's got Matheson Park, one of my favorite spots to just chill and maybe do some first impression videos. Weather 64 degrees according to the bike. A beautiful morning. This is downtown South Miami. That's Sunset Mall, which according to its name, it's pretty much half dead. Even high school kids doesn't go there anymore. The city needs a little bit better commercial plans to revitalize this little area to make it more fun for everybody. And we'll probably encounter some church traffic because there are some big churches around here. So the F800r has proven itself to be an excellent urban commuter. Now for this morning's ride, I think it's also pretty great. Just no stress. Enjoying the ride, putting smiles on my face. Very easy ride. I'm not gonna sift through a lot of traffic, which is great, but even if I have to, you can do that very easily on the F800r. Lots of cycling activities as well. And the gearing of this bike promotes short shifting for sure. Useful power band all the way to maybe 4th gear. especially for the city. Like, you just doesn't feel like you're gonna run out of gears in the city, which is great. Again, if your riding style is different, if you ride a lot of highway, yeah, I probably wouldn't want to be on this bike, because it's, for the highway, a little more work involved, just because of the gearing and the super vibey parallel twin in this bike. 798cc parallel twin. Okay, put it on neutral. Okay, very easy to find neutral as well. Not much to complain about in terms of shifting, besides slightly heavier clutch pull. The clutch pull is about same as the Triumph. Fairly heavy, maybe at least 8-9 pounds at least. Not a hydraulic clutch, unfortunately. This is kind of BMW's lower end entry-level naked bike. So despite the fact it's having a excellent entry-level, okay, for entry-level bikes, front suspension that's inverted, and also a fully adjustable rear suspension, other accessories are kind of lacking. So keep that in mind. Again, stability control, traction control is beauty. Turn off by pressing this little button, and you can see that little thing, traction control is off. The ABS is not able to be turned off, but I think for city riding it's absolutely fine. Just like many other bikes built for city riding, I don't think there's any need to turn off ABS in the city. Okay, and we are already almost at the park. Yeah, nice ride. We are grateful to be living near this area with accessible amenities for everybody to enjoy. And today I also put my GoPro on the handlebar, just because mainly for safety reasons, okay, for as a rear end view camera, not to photograph myself like riding the bike, but because I've been hit before, always nice to have a rear view camera for sure, because for the most part someone's gonna hit you from the back. And the helmet mount most definitely helps as well, not only for vlogging, but again for safety reasons. You know, you never know what's gonna happen. It's a nice ride. I'm gonna ride a little longer before we hit the beach, just to enjoy this little road here in Coral Gables. It's got Oak Cutler Road, a popular road for cyclists. See lots of motorcycles too, and it extends all the way to the south, outside of Miami. Okay, and this is the park. We're gonna pass the park and just ride back in a little bit. Again, looking at the gearing, 2500 RPM, we are at 40 miles per hour. Very comfortable cruising speed for the city. And if you're looking at the fuel mileage, I'm getting about 35. This is the instant fuel mileage, getting about 76 to 80, which is pretty amazing, okay, for this bike. And so yeah, overall I'm very happy with this purchase. The guy was generous enough to accept my offer, which is again slightly on the lower end, but I think it's still a pretty fair offer. He's looking for a F1200. He's looking for a 1200 GS, a big upgrade from this bike, and he wants to ride adventure style, off-road. So that's what he wants. The money that I paid him is going to be used for a cash deposit for his dream bike, which I think works out for both of us, because I'm not riding off-road and I'm just looking for a joyride machine in the city and a commute machine. And this bike does everything, okay? Going at 30 miles per hour, you can be in the fourth gear at 2500 RPM. And again, very comfortable cruising speed. And you have instant power if you just twist the throttle, but I don't want to twist the throttle here. People are going slow. Okay. But if you don't want to be obnoxious, going between 2500 and 4000 RPM is a pretty good speed. And if you want to really push this bike a little bit, the bike has very juicy low end to mid end. But once you hit the 5500 RPM, it's like a buzzing machine. It's gonna buzz your arm off, especially on the highway. So do keep that in mind. Again, I rode this bike back. I have a video of me riding this bike back on the highway. It's fully highway capable. It's just not very enjoyable going above 65, going to 75 to 80 miles per hour, okay? And my today's riding style is going to be very different than when I'm commuting. I'm not going to do any lane splitting. Hello, cyclists. No lane splitting, and just a nice ride on a single lane street. But I kind of wish I could overtake those cars, but obviously I can't, so just gotta ride as is. But again, I'm really impressed with the mileage, okay? Like fourth gear, fifth gear, it's in the 70s and 80s. It's like fuel sipping, even though my exhaust is the Aero full exhaust head plus a Leo Vance slip-on exhaust. Very good combo, actually. Sounds good, loud enough for everybody to notice you, but not like super bike loud, okay? So that's great. And yeah, so love this bike. Once I'm on this bike, I just actually don't want to, you know, stop. I just want to keep riding. That's how much fun this bike provides you on the city streets. And another thing interesting is yesterday I was on Reddit reading people's comments, and people posted a picture of the F800r, which is an upgrade to this bike, and said, why would anybody still want to buy a naked bike? Okay, well, this is the exact reason. Naked bike is perfect for city. His argument is, oh, you can get a supermoto for city street riding. And I did look at the supermoto setup and everything. They're actually very expensive for unknown reasons. I don't know why supermoto slashed with a super tag becomes so expensive, where it's entirely unnecessarily expensive. Okay, I know the suspension is a little bit longer, travel is a little bit longer. The motor is designed for, I guess, off-road riding, but also offers some in-town capability. But think about it, using supermoto on a highway is going to be even more disastrous than F800r, just because their engine is usually below 500. Okay, or maybe there are 650 DR, I think, from Suzuki, But again, those engines are really just designed for off-road use and city streets, right? So definitely think about getting a naked bike for city riding. Lots of construction today, interestingly. I am going to, let's see, make a left turn here, I think. Yeah, let's make a left turn here. So this is USDA government property, and they do a lot of research for different trees and stuff. And the way we're riding now is actually going to a famous historical place called Deering Estate, which was built by someone who was rich and had a lot of influence back in the days in this area. But I don't think we can actually access the estate. But we'll drive by, we'll ride by, and just take a quick look. Yeah, this is a really nice ride. The riding position on this bike, absolutely perfect for city riding. Not very tall, okay? The handlebar is not very tall. It puts you upright, and it's not aggressive. It's a very wide handlebar, 32 inches wide. So again, I think it's built for comfort. Visibility is fantastic on this bike. I'm able to look back on my helmet very easily. I don't have to like do some awkward positions. And it's great. The seat, comfortable, firm. No complaint on the seat at all. It's a very nice seat. And again, if you ride a lot, if you're cycling a lot, most motorcycle seats is going to be way more comfortable compared to your bicycle saddle. So, and if you're cycling a lot, your butt is probably accustomed to all kinds of very harsh seats. So and this engine is a lot of fun. Again, between 3,000 to 6,000. Anytime you go above 6,000, it loses its inertia, and it just becomes almost feels like my scooter in terms of power output. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna make a left turn here and try to go into the park. Not sure if it's rideable into the park. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But let's give it a try. On the left is a nice preserve, and also behind this is water. So one time I tried to kayak coming from the park that we're gonna go next over to here, and it was stopped by the rain. But next time I should definitely do that. If you're interested in kayaking videos, do subscribe. Weather's getting nice, so I'm gonna make a U-turn. Bicycle access only. Again, I don't want to compare this bike to a supermoto, 300 to 500cc supermoto, but it just feels like one. Even though I haven't ridden one, I can kind of feel what the supermoto guy was talking about in terms of the joy of riding in the city. And dual sports, no, I didn't ride any motorized vehicles on the trail, but I do have mountain bikes, so I can relate. But this bike if you can find it for a good price. Okay, definitely buy it. When I did the service on the bike, okay, when I first bought it, it was throwing out error codes. I have to spend over $200 to buy a ODB reading setup just for this BMW bike. But I think it's worth it for the amount of price I paid for this bike. That little investment, definitely worth the purchase. That code reader was able to help me reset some settings, diagnose the bike, give me all the error codes, clear all the error codes, and it turns out the bike had a someone's doing some fun stuff here on the track. So the bike had a faulty temperature sensor for the coolant, which was located behind on the left side of the engine. That temperature sensor was throwing negative temperatures to the ECU. So every time I'm riding the bike, the rev or the idle would go super high every time it reads a negative engine temperature, which throws this bike off, and I was scared. But it's a literally $15 replacement part. I took that sensor out, put the new sensor in. The bike now rides perfect. Absolutely no issue at all. And the previous owner just did the brake bleed, did the engine oil change, everything, all the service was done. So I'm also kind of lucky to buy a bike that already had, it's pretty much ready to go. Okay, so that was that. Easy to service. Also, construction quality is very good. Most of the screws that I took out when I did the service, are stainless steel screws, and construction quality is, let me tell you, definitely one step above the Honda CTX 700 that I've owned, as well as a Piaggio Fly 150 that I was servicing. This construction quality of this bike, or the material used, is just one step above. So definitely I'm impressed with BMW build quality. Even though this bike, I know it's entry level in the BMW lineup, I'm still very impressed with how they build this bike. And also, servicing this bike is surprisingly easy. The fairings are removed by literally 3 bolts. Okay, 3 bolts to remove the fairing. How easy it is to service this. Everything's accessible. I was able to get to the cam head cover in under 30 minutes on the first try, but I think next time I do it, I can get to the cam head in probably like literally less than 15 minutes. Okay, less than 15 minutes. Everything very easy to service. With the code reader, also you're able to diagnose most of the stuff. Say hi to the guy. Something going on? Oh yeah, super peppy. Now it's again not sports bike peppy, but all the power is used very efficiently on the street. Okay, there's no doubt about the fun factor that this bike is gonna bring you if you get it. And it looks like we have to do another joyride following those two cars, but we are going back to the park. Maybe I can stop the bike and give you guys an overview of the bike after it's been just fully cleaned yesterday by me. So we'll see. I'm surprised not a lot of folks out here enjoying this weather. Only saw one fellow cyclist, motorcyclist. A very nice road to enjoy the ride, but obviously I don't want to make this video super long. But police station. But yeah, this route is perfect for me to just talk about the bike, my first impression, and what really this bike is excelling at, as well as what this bike probably is not very good at. Okay, there we go. Salt water is corroding this park slowly. All right, let's do a nice joyride in the forest. This is shallow water, marsh forest with lots of mangrove trees that are very well grown. Beautiful. Today looks pretty dry. Might be able to stop the bike and yeah, do a review here. Let's see. Nope, still pretty messy here. Look at this little bird. This is kind of close to native Florida. Nice. Not sure if I'm gonna find a spot to talk about the bike. If not, I guess we'll just relax a little bit and I'll ride home and we'll talk more if needed. All right, so had to meet my wife at Fairchild because she's gonna come here and have some fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and ride back home. Didn't make any video, and she took my phone because she needs it for her Pokemon Go. But let's do it. So I didn't do any videos while I was sitting down, chilling, but I think we can wrap up this video by me saying this is the first joyride I did on the F800r. As impressed as the commute ride, the first commute ride that I did on her last week. Very peppy, great for the road, and I don't really see any reason for me to upgrade to a different bike for things that I need this bike for, right? As I mentioned, 100% I need my motorcycle to be in the city, and this is doing exactly and everything that I'm asking. So really, really happy. Not sure if I'm gonna get a protected left, hopefully. And the power band is perfect, just perfect for the city use, okay? I was browsing around, so in terms of alternative options, I was browsing around and I almost made a purchase for a SV F650, which is the Gladius, it's called Gladius in the USA from Suzuki. But this bike, I just couldn't resist because of the offer I made and the seller accepted. I put in a little more cash and I got this bike, and so far I'm not regretting one bit of getting this bike as opposed to the SVF 650. Now that bike, the offer I made was $500 cheaper, but obviously I got this bike way off the Blue Book value, and for the SFV I'm offering around Blue Book value, so I think I should be able to resell this bike later on if I decide to upgrade. But again, I don't see any reason to upgrade. I should get more money out of this bike as opposed to the SFV. I'm sure I'm gonna have a lot of fun on the SFV if I got it. And that bike actually had more mileage, is more beat up, but yeah, SFV, SV 650 are legendary as to the reliability and the usefulness in the city. But this bike, again, I'm telling you, just as fun, and I'm gonna assume it's gonna be reliable because BMW uses this engine in a gazillion of bikes for decades. Parts availability is gonna be, if you don't buy genuine BMW, it's gonna be readily available at a significant discount used. Okay, so I think it's a no-brainer. If you find this bike for a great value, you should totally get this compared to maybe some Japanese bikes. Okay, which again, reliable, yeah, but is it gonna be this much fun? Maybe not. I'm comparing my Honda to this BMW. Okay, the Honda that I had, utterly reliable, but it actually just lacks character all over. It's reliable, no character. This bike, I'm gonna assume it's reliable, and it's already so far proved to be full of character. Okay, so yeah, first vlog for Joyride, highly recommend. And enough talking. I'm gonna wrap up this video and just say I hope you found this video helpful for you if you are looking for a naked bike for urban commute. Definitely give the F800r a serious consideration. Now there are different year models. This one is a 2015 year model, which they added the inverted front shock, electronic stability control, and ABS standard. If you're getting the older model year, there's not going to be inverted front fork, but it's going to be similar, and actually like the styling of the older bikes quite a lot more compared to this one. Okay, so yeah, I don't think you're gonna regret getting this bike for city commuting at all. Back to the half-dead Sunset Mall. Christmas tree's already up. And yeah, so make sure to subscribe. I'm sure I'm gonna make more vlogs for this bike in the upcoming years. And if you're interested in any bicycle maintenance related videos, I'm for sure going to be doing bike maintenance on this bike. And I already had a few videos out doing repairs, doing fairing removals, and accessing the airbox and stuff. All right, so thanks again guys for watching. Enjoy the video, and I'll see you in the next one.